Welcome back for another game between llllSlll and LeeBokGu. This is game number 3 of this series. The first game was won by llllSlll. The second one was won by, actually the other way around. The first game was won by LeeBokGu, who is playing under the name Sponking, who is now on the purple Protoss. And the second game was won by llllSlll, who's now also playing Protoss, but he's the orange Protoss on spot number 9, also known as the middle left spot. Whereas Sponking is playing on the bottom spot in the middle. He starts off with a 7-9 pylon. That's a pylon that is one side earlier than we would usually see people do. And then we hide that interface so we don't spoil the game length. And open the production tab too. I'm gonna open this tab a little bit later on. It's not relevant as of yet. So an 8-9 pylon against a 7-9 pylon. Really curious to see what Sponking will do on a 7-9 pylon. He goes for the very early gateway, which should be at least about 20 seconds earlier, 15 seconds earlier than llllSll's gateway. But he goes for a double gateway right off the bat. There is the second gateway for Sponking, which comes up at around the same time as llllSll starts his second gateway too. So it will only be the very first Zealot that will be out earlier for Sponking than it will be for llllSlll. Just to give a little bit more information, LeeBokGu is purple under the name Sponking. llllSlll is barcode as barcode. He always goes for that name. I can call him S, but that's a little bit confusing, so I'm just going to call him llllSlll, which is his real name, I assume. llllSlll, not sure what his real name is, because he goes by the name llllSlll and Kensei Park on his YouTube channel, so either of those two are his real name, but people tend to refer to him as llllSlll, so I will refer to him as llllSlll as well. There is the very early gas for Sponking, for LeeBokGu, and there is a cybernetics core. He has found llllSlll. llllSlll went for a very early nexus, so he's definitely going to be behind a little bit on the offensive areas and options that he has, because Sponking already has gas, already has a cybernetics core, about to finish within the next 20 seconds. And there is the first probe, and Zealot looking to harass. llllSlll is trying to do the same thing with just a Zealot though. And a really nice little block that llllSlll made by using a pylon, placing it there, so he actually does get a single probe there that llllSlll didn't send onto his minerals in time. It's really useful to place his pylon there and put a Zealot there. It blocks access to the probes. And the single Zealot gets cut out. The Zealot almost dies. The Zealot almost already dead too. A second gas has been started, and llllSlll was at the same time harassing on LeeBokGu's probes. I didn't see if he killed a probe. Let me see. He killed no probes at all. And the Zealot is about to die. He's going to try to take the probe down now. No, he doesn't get in there, and yes, he killed a single probe, so both players have killed a single probe in that entire process of fighting against each other. And the first Dragoons are out for LeeBokGu. There is Singularity Charge upgrading, aka Dragoon range. 2 more gateways have been added on. 2 more gateways has all been added. 3 gateways have been added on for llllSlll. I guess that is because he went for the very early Nexus and has a couple of more probes on his minerals than LeeBokGu has. There is the cybernetics core. No Singularity Charge is being upgraded. He added on a second gas. The fight is now starting on the middle. And Dragoons and Zealots against Zealots. But considering there are more Zealots out there on the map, the Zealots of LeeBokGu get caught. But now he is pulling these Dragoons away from llllSll's base by sending a Zealot away. But the Dragoons regroup with another Dragoon. A 4th Dragoon is on the way. In this situation, actually, llllSll now also has Dragoons out. So this is going to be a very micro-heavy little engage and fight that's going to go on. LeeBokGu having trouble efficiently microing his Dragoons backwards, so instead of just microing and putting effort in, he pulls his Dragoons all the way back to his base, not wanting to lose any HP on his Dragoons. He's just going to regroup them with the Dragoons that he has in his base and a Zealot in. I didn't get a click on it in time, but it looks like LeeBokGu lost a couple of probes there in the process, and these 3 Zealots are going to get in there while LeeBokGu has his Dragoons mispositioned because he didn't know that those Zealots were there. So a really nice sneak in from llllSll, and he actually doesn't kill a single probe with that Zealot. This Zealot gets a single probe kill. Will it get the second probe kill? It does not get the second. Yes, it gets a second probe kill, so 2 probes have died there. I'm not entirely sure how many probes have died in total, but there are now 12 Dragoons out for LeeBokGu against 6 Dragoons and 6 Zealots from llllSlll. This is currently in favor. Oh, there's a 7th Zealot. This is currently in favor of LeeBokGu because he can kite these Zealots around and take way less damage than llllSlll will take, because llllSll's gonna lose. Actually, this is looking pretty good. llllSlll did lose all of his Zealots there, aside from this one that is now sneaking in and going to snipe a single probe, maybe. Depends on if these Dragoons will be fast enough in taking it down. And a single probe goes down before he kills the Zealot. Now there's a fight going on. He's trying to micro, but it's very hard to micro Dragoons against Dragoons. I almost think it's pretty much impossible, aside from just moving the weak Dragoons to the back. So, for example, moving that one to the back would be the kind of micro you can pull off in a Dragoon versus Dragoon fight. Or focusing a single target also helps, as both players are doing here. But LeeBokGu now has the overhand over llllSlll, purely because he had didn't go for the +1 Nexus. But llllSll's economy is bigger, so it would all come down to LeeBokGu maintaining his leverage over llllSlll from this fight onwards. But it is in llllSll's favor that he has way more gateways, so in theory he could make a really good comeback once all these units finish and he gets somewhat of a surround off on these Dragoons, because LeeBokGu is very greedy with his Dragoons. He's going to micro in even further and deeper, sniping down the Dragoons that llllSlll had here in the back. He's now on the tech, and now llllSll's tech is being threatened, and his probes are being threatened too. He's gonna try. He really has to turn this around. llllSlll pulling his probes off the minerals to help him taking down Dragoons. There is the Templar's Archive, and actually LeeBokGu has won the game with that little push into, because he also has a Reaver out that I completely didn't pay attention to. But so while he was fighting, he completely beat llllSlll to the Reaver tech and got the drop off and killed all the probes that llllSlll didn't pull off of his minerals. That's a really quick, nice and clean win for LeeBokGu. And in my honest opinion, I kind of feel like PvP, at least the way the Koreans play it, most of the time it comes down to who does the most aggressive build. And in this case, LeeBokGu went for the most aggressive build, and I think llllSlll kind of made a mistake of not going for very fast Dark Templars, because that's pretty much the only option you have in fighting off those very early Dragoons. He tried to match it, didn't work. LeeBokGu comes out on top, gets the win, and the score is now 2 wins for LeeBokGu, a single win for llllSlll, and we're going into game number 5.